Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are ranking every brawler from the worst to the very top, the best brawler in the game right now. Short disclaimer, it's not only 3v3 and it's not only solo showdown we are ranking here. It's like in the whole game. It's like also not esport or whatever. It's showdown, 3v3, etc. combined. So don't worry, throwers will not be like the worst brawlers here. We took care of every mode. I created this list with some very experienced players, so big shout out to them. And I would say, let's get started. So let's start with this list. We are starting with the last place and that goes to Janet. Not seen anywhere, not the best brawler right now. She was meta when she got released but got nerfed, and at some point no one actually even played her anymore. Also her play rate is like really at the bottom. People do not enjoy playing her. People do not want to play her because she's not strong. So Janet makes the last place. Next one, 83, goes to Penny. She's also not meta right now. Cannot really defend herself even with the gadget and the star power. And the super is killed easily, for example, by one single berry auto attack. Your mortar is gone already and doesn't deal enough damage or is not annoying enough so that this brawler would be up in the tier list right now. 82 is a Pam. Here we also have a turret that doesn't really stand a chance. Pam is good against brawlers like Amber and Draco, and don't get me wrong, all these brawlers, it's like not that if you play them you automatically lose, not like that, but they are just weak in the meta and people do not like to play these brawlers. Low play rate. And that has a reason, because they are too weak right now. Then we go with 81 and that's Charlie. Charlie was like the best brawler in the game and now also became one of the worst. I still like to play her. She's a really interesting and cool brawler, but the cocoon doesn't really have the value anymore that it used to have. Also the hypercharge is so useless. If you like hypercharge someone, then your spiders will literally die when the cocoon is ending. So it's basically useless and your spiders don't even have any value. So that's why I ranked Charlie here. Then followed by Duck on number 80. Duck is a cool brawler. He can heal, he can rest himself. The problem is he's just a Jackie and much worse. And to get your super, most of the time you need really bad opponents. You know, no one is feeding a Duck his super. Everyone knows how Duck works. He doesn't have a speed boost, nothing. He can just walk towards you and it's not working very well. 79 then goes to Mr. P. Too many assassins in the game, too many tanks. Also, the portals are not annoying enough, like all these brawlers with the turrets like Penny, Pam, Mr. P. It's just not in the meta right now. It's just not working quite well at the moment. So yeah, Mr. P also not very well placed on this list. And now 78 we go with Hank. Hank is actually not that much of a bad brawler. You know, he has a very annoying attack and can go over walls. He heals himself when supering, but like the most annoying thing with Hank is if you get damage and you want to heal up, then it doesn't work while you charge your bubble, and that's very, very frustrating. That was like the best feature of the brawler. Unfortunately, that's gone. It's too easy to outplay this brawler. I think it can be fun to play Hank, but overall, yeah, if we just talk about how good he actually is, how well he works in ranked, in showdown or in 3v3, he doesn't have much to offer. The knockback will cancel his auto attack and then you can do nothing anymore. Also, when someone's standing right next to you, you won't have time to charge your bubble, and if you just spam auto attacks, you barely do any damage. So yeah. 77 Ruffs, also not in the meta, just countered by so many brawlers. I remember that one scene where I had my super and outplayed this boss in a really cool way, but when does this kind of stuff happen? Power up and stuff is a cool thing, doesn't mean this brawler is like totally bad or boring, whatever. His stats just cannot compete with other brawlers, but many people say that Ruffs is even underrated and should be ranked higher. But I don't know about that, because if you ask me, I would prefer, like always prefer like playing Rico over Ruffs. He's like just a better version, also has the hypercharge. Or I don't know, maybe a thrower or like Chester, Kid Lily, you know, we just have better alternatives. I put him here. 76 is Sam. He's better than Ruffs. I believe he's better than all the brawlers that I previously mentioned, because he has some potential. He can heal himself up, you know, with the gloves. There's a lot of stuff that he can do, but yeah, if you lose your gloves once, then you're useless, and you can also be interrupted while engaging so easily. I mean, people can just stop you from getting your gloves and yeah, you cannot do anything anymore. So 75 is Eve. Maybe she's a bit underrated here, like ranked a bit too low, but in my opinion, you know, Eve is just the much worse version of Angelo. And yes, you can pick her on some maps, like on this knockout map with the small lake where you can just go over, or other water maps. But I think Eve just doesn't have enough DPS. The super is quite annoying and it's cool if you can tank like this, but the little hatchlings are way too easy to destroy. I think this Brawler has a lot of potential. Like if there was just some better stats for Eve, she would be way more meta. But for now, I don't know, just not enough DPS. If I would be a tank, you know, just imagine you have a mag on your lane and you need like 20 hits to get that mag down. Aiming is not that easy. So I decided to put her 75. But let's see, maybe the hypercharge changes the whole Brawler. That's happened quite a lot already. 74 is for Ash. Also quite a bit underrated. I think many people think like that he's the worst Brawler or whatever. But I think in the right hands with his star power, he has good potential. He's definitely better than Sam in my opinion. Better than an Eve pick. And I think you can stress your opponents a lot. He also got a buff on his gadget. And overall, my opinion, still underrated. And now I put Squeak on 73. Not necessarily because, you know, if you imagine Ash, he has a lot more potential than Squeak has right now in my opinion. But Squeak just has that hypercharge. And only the stats themselves deserve that this Brawler is above Ash. You know, if used well, the hypercharge, the double super can do a lot of chaos. Team wipe or even do like 40% on the save. Or maybe it's like 30, I'm not sure. It should be a lot. Because 2 full supers, then like 3 auto attacks. Damn, that should be crazy. And all the Brawlers we had before don't even have a hypercharge except Charlie. But yeah, Charlie's hypercharge, like, come on. That's basically only stats but not having a hypercharge at all. And the Brawler itself is also not good, so worst case scenario. And here we go with Squeak, also not the best Brawler, but a better hypercharge, and I think it's quite fair. Brock is on spot number 72. We just have Piper, you know, we play other snipers. We play Nani, Piper, Mandy, all that, but not Brock. Maybe you use him for opening walls, but yeah, usually we don't even do that anymore. People just play other snipers, just have better alternatives. Bell, for example, also. B just got buffed, so Brock is like one of the worst snipers now. Maisie's on 71, and I feel a bit bad putting her that low, because Maisie has a lot of potential, but I think she doesn't deserve to be that much higher, because she's not in the meta, she's not being picked or played very often, and the hypercharge is not too crazy. I mean, if you play with Maisie against the bot, you know, you will always hit like 20 or 30k damage if you hit all your additional shots with that hypercharge, but that's basically never happening in a real game. So the hypercharge is just not that crazy, but the Brawler itself is a very good one. Unfortunately, a bad hypercharge, so that puts her quite far down. You know, if you have a hypercharge, you want that power spike, you want that game changer, but Maisie does not deliver that. Bull is our number 70, so he's a good tank, and also we have a lot of people that like Bull, but I think the biggest problem with Bull is that you can only play him on bushy maps. But then on the other hand, we have just a lot of other Brawlers that are better on these maps. For example, I think it's center stage, I'm not sure, where like Rico is very OP, where you just don't want to play Bull. You have just other Brawlers that are better. Same with Rosa, I think she's just a little bit better on these bushy maps, especially in Brawl, so she gets the place number 69. So then we have Pearl. Do you remember when Pearl just was able to one-shot every Brawler with a single gadget back in the days? Yeah, that was Pearl's prime, but she fell off quite hard, and especially because of her hypercharge, which is like the worst in the game, I believe. It definitely has to be reworked. This is also a big reason why this Brawler is on 68. Hypercharge really needs a rework. The Brawler itself is fine, I would say, but yeah, give this Brawler better hypercharge. Not sure, maybe also something like that she doesn't lose her heat bar too fast or something. Yeah, something around that. 67 is Lola. Not even that bad of a Brawler. She does quite decent damage. We're getting closer to the midfield of his list. But yeah, then, for example, in Heist, you just play Cold and not Lola. So yeah, we just have better alternatives. She's not a bad Brawler, don't get me wrong. She's not a bad Brawler. We're getting better and better here. But as I said, just better alternatives and not too hard to counter, not too much movement, etc. Otis was the perfect answer to Fang and probably is still the best answer to Fang. Problem is, Fang is just not in the meta anymore. So yeah, small spoiler. But not only because of that, Otis itself is a cool Brawler. Might be also underrated. The mute is perfect against tanks, against assassins. I wonder why we don't see Otis more in the meta. But he's not being played. He's not popular. He's not very fun to play. Like there's not really, you know, the gadgets are not really fun. The star power is not really fun. So I mean, it makes sense that he's quite unpopular. But maybe even better than some Brawlers later in this list. But yeah, let's get to the next one, and that's Gray on 65. He's been played a lot in Hot Zone with that Duck Jackie combo, for example. We don't see that anymore. With Clancy, who just got released. With a Gale meter, there's no chance how this combo would survive very well here. So it makes sense that Gray dropped quite a lot. And the Brawler itself has fin shots. He still can do a lot of stuff. I mean, he will still be good at knockout. He can still do very nice plays and has probably more value than a Brawler like Otis or Pearl because of the abilities this guy has, because of the gadget. He's still a good Brawler. So we put him on 65, and we get to the next one, which is Edgar 64. We were thinking about putting him a bit lower, but yeah, he is a good Brawler. He's not that bad. Problem, as I mentioned it before, Gale meter, anti-assassin meter. Like, we don't really have a lot of assassins in the top tier meta. Maybe Moe. I don't know if you could consider him an assassin, but he kind of has the abilities like an assassin. So yeah, Edgar meta was when we had the Larry and Laurie meta. He was really good back then. Now you can still play him in duels, so he's like a wonderful duels Brawler, but not really in 3v3 or showdown. Heist, he still works, you know, with some combos it might work, but overall Edgar had a big fall off from the last updates. Now we get to Grom, and now you're like, wait, how is Grom better than Edgar? You know, Edgar can just jump on him and kill him. Grom cannot even defend himself. But yeah, that's not how we judge these Brawlers. Grom still has much more value in 3v3. Just imagine now a Grom in 3v3 knockout with a good team and an Edgar. The Grom will have so much more value, can annoy the enemies, while your Edgar just waits for his super. And probably he cannot even jump in because 3 people are just waiting for that, and he will be instantly punished for jumping into them. So yeah, overall Grom just has more value, I believe. It's being playable in more combos. Of course, you cannot play him in solo showdown, so we exclude solo showdown here for most likely throwers. And yeah, I think he's definitely not one of the best throwers, but he deserves to be higher than other brawlers because you still can get much more value as from other brawlers. Which brings us to the number 62, Terra. Terra got a hypercharge that is not too good. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not too good. We just have a bigger pull range, so pulling is even easier now. But I mean, you know, you can still dodge it, you can still jump it, like react on it. But yeah, it's obviously easier to pull now. The gadget is still strong against certain brawlers. We have splash damage, but overall not too overperforming. Still easy to counter her, just like the other brawlers earlier in this list. But we are getting in the right direction. The brawlers are getting stronger and stronger. It will get harder to kill them. It will be harder to win a lane versus them. But Terra does not really count to that, to the good brawlers. So she's 62, even with the hypercharge. 61, we decided for Fang. Fang is a great assassin and was meta for quite a long time. We saw him every time in knockout. People love to play him. He's a great brawler. I love to play him. He's really fun to play. The usage rate is really high, but he definitely is not one of the best brawlers right now. More like in the worst midfield. Because if you want to play an assassin, then you play Moe and not Fang, or you play Lily, which is also better right now. You know, we have so much better alternatives, which doesn't allow Fang to be really meta right now, which doesn't make this brawler terrible. He's not terrible. He's definitely playable, but more on the bottom because of so many alternatives, so which is why we put him there. Number 60, we got Melody. Still being played in Heist, for example, or Hot Zone. You know, you still can play that strategy where you hit your opponents 3-4 times and then you just die, you spawn, then you super again to the Hot Zone circle or straight to the Heist save again. You know, pretty no skill strategy, but that's, you know, most likely how you play Melody. So we got her on number 60. 59 is Willow. Willow is definitely one of the better throws, like better than Grom. Like basically just better than Grom. Might be underrated here. Maybe she's better than some of the other brawlers, but I think she doesn't deserve to be too high because, I mean, you play her in Brawl and that's most likely it. So she's a very good Brawl brawler. You can score goals with her very well, and you have an answer to assassins by super ring or having your gadget, which is very strong. Maybe you can also play her in like Hot Zone, but overall more like a Brawl brawler, but a very good one. So I think 59 is fine for her. So we go to 58. We have another legendary brawler. We have a lot of legendary brawlers now. We start with Leon. Leon, you know, not a bad brawler, still strong mechanics itself, but definitely not in the meta. Definitely not competing with the other brawlers we have. Not fitting into too many combos, not synergizing too well, and that's why we put him on 58. Not because the brawler is like trash, definitely not. Hypercharge is still strong, one of the best hypercharges, but brawler itself, we saw him in previous ranked seasons. Now we barely see Leon anymore because of two too many good alternatives or too many good combos where you do not include Leon. 57 is Spike Van, the next legendary brawler. In my opinion, he's more like a noob brawler. You know what I mean? Like he's more like for the new guys. He's more like, he's easy to play. You have curveball. You don't really need good aim. He deals good damage. But yeah, later in the game, you want to play other brawlers, but not really Spike. You have better options. You have more skilled options. And yeah, more like newbie friendly, but not too great right now. Also, I think the gear got nerfed. So people are still slow when you super them, but not that slow anymore. Like not 50%. It's a huge difference. And the next one then is Sandy on 56. Huge fell off here. He was one of the best brawlers, but her hypercharge cycle got nerfed. I'm not sure, but I think also her super cycle got nerfed again, but I'm not sure about that. I don't want to say wrong stuff. And yeah, it's a huge difference, you know. Earlier she had hypercharge ready with the second super, and now it's with the third super. That's a huge difference. Like you don't even know if you're going to hit 3 supers in the game with Sandy, because it's quite hard to charge your super. And it does make sense, because with Sandy, the most OP part about her is the super and also the hypercharge. Not like the damage or the AoE, whatever. He's also close range. So that's definitely not it. But yeah, super is one of the best supers in the game, if not the best super. Also the hypercharge, one of the best. Griff, number 55, better than Sandy. We decided to rank better than Sandy because I think Griff is really getting back to meta, and with an upcoming hypercharge, we will really have a very good position for him. He will probably, like, the hypercharge can be also trash, we will see. But I think Griff hypercharge can hit insanely, and we will see Griff in the top meta. We will see about that, but for now he remains in the midfield, in the lower midfield. 55 for him. Good gadget, good DPS, like very decent brawler. Also been played in esport, quite underrated also. So I think Griff has a shiny big future. Stu's on 54, also quite a big fell off. He's still a good brawler, but yeah, the main problem is the alternatives, like the other brawlers that are that strong right now. That's the problem. And Stu doesn't deal that much DPS, you know. I think you need a lot of DPS in this meta. So we got him on 54, and it hurts real bad because he's one of my most favorite brawlers. Blue on 33. Simple reason, he's one of the best brawlers in Hot Zone. You can do so much with him in Hot Zone. Great control, but even now, he's not the best Hot Zone brawler. We have better brawlers on Hot Zone, but he's still not bad. But yeah, it's his main mode, and he's not overperforming in his main mode anymore right now. So more like bottom midfield. And we have Crow on 52. Very popular brawler. People love to play Crow. He's also quite good in the ranked modifier mode, you know, where you get a bit movement speed if you damage an enemy. You will always damage your enemy over time with the Crow poison, and that allows you to always have insane movement speed. But yeah, that's just for the ranked season. That doesn't mean he's crazy with the SpongeBob SquarePants items, for example, or in normal ladder or in solo showdown. Definitely not. So midfield is quite fitting for Crow, even when he has a good time in ranked right now because of the modifier. And now we have B on 51. He got a buff, and that allows her to climb a bit higher on the ladder of the top brawlers. She was way lower before, like the worst sniper maybe. I don't want to say that, but maybe the worst sniper in the last seasons. But yeah, now she got a 400 damage buff, which makes her definitely a bigger threat now, but still not enough to be the best sniper in the game. Definitely not. But yeah, like on Hot Zone, I like to pick her now. I think she's quite decent. Wouldn't say like better than Belle, for example. I would still pick Belle over B in most like heist or bounty, knockout, etc. And in Hot Zone, maybe even in Hot Zone, like, yeah, B is just not that good, but she got a buff, so we put her a bit higher. 50 goes to Bo. Some people say he's underrated, but I think, yeah, we have better mid laners at the moment. Mines are quite annoying, but not too annoying for experienced players. They know how to dodge them quite fast, like how to bait them quite fast. That reminds me of the Fortnite trap baiting, you know, it kind of has the same vibe. Yeah, you can still play him on bushy maps to have some vision. Like Prairie, I think, is a map, the bounty map with all the bushes. You could play him there, also in solo showdown. Yeah, Buzz is just better. Also, like in solo showdown, for example, Buzz is much better and also countering both, so Bo doesn't even stand a big chance, and Buzz, Fat Star Power, even has more vision range. But I still think since he's a good mid laner, he's always an alternative as a mid laner if you like to play Bo, and he's also good on certain maps like Snake Prairie. Top 50 is fine for him. 8-bit on 49. Strong mid laner in Gem Grab, really strong mid laner, also quite good in 5v5, but I'm trying to stay easy with 5v5 because it's, I don't know, it's not the very most skilled mode in my opinion. So we chill on that. We also Wipeout. Wipeout is not a competitive mode. It's not in rank. So it's also tough to give 8-bit a better placement. So if I would pick him, then most likely just in Gem Grab or in a SpongeBob SquarePants mode. But I'm not sure if we should include SpongeBob SquarePants modifiers into this list because it's also ending in like 2 weeks. So yeah. 48, we go with Tick, the most annoying brawler in the game. Like he's top 1 as the most annoying brawler, definitely. But yeah, not too much skill, but very high value, very annoying, very frustrating to play against him. So I think he really deserves a 48 in the midfield. He's not OP, he's not weak, so that fits quite well to him. Same with Barley, quite good thrower. You can see him in the highest hot zone with the hypercharge. He also got a hypercharge, and I think it's also better than the Tick hypercharge. We see him quite often, also in Brawl where you can play him outranging Dynamite. Always a thrower you can pick, maybe not like a knockout or bounty, but for the active modes, he's always a good pick, I believe. So Ammo on 46, I saw a bit lower, like I wanted to see her around top 60 for example, but the people I asked said that Emma really should be ranked higher, and yeah, I can understand it. She can have a lot of value with that super. The gadget is, yeah, got nerfed, but is still pretty decent. And now we have Draco on 45, a pretty decent tank, you know, with the gadget. The gadget is just too good to rank him bad. Also the flamethrower, you know, you can just walk through. It's still working with Kit, it's still working with Byron with that healing combo. Not the craziest brawler, but also very easy to play and stronger than brawlers like Spike, for example, that also do not require a lot of skill. But I think overall, comparing Draco with a Spike, Draco just can have a lot more value than a Spike could have. Then we got Barry on 44. We have plenty of healing combos in Solo Showdown. He's a good healer in 3v3, synergizing well with the SpongeBob SquarePants update. You can super like 30 times. I know I just said I don't want to involve like SpongeBob SquarePants update too much, but yeah, I mean, it's for Barry is like one of the best brawlers with the SpongeBob SquarePants update with that modifier, because he can just cycle super so fast and farm so many cubes while healing his teammates and getting his super even faster like that. But yeah, not only that, also in ranked, also in ladder, still a good brawler, midfield brawler, so we put him here. Primo, I wanted him to see a bit higher, but people said, nah, not really, like we have better tanks right now. We have good tank counters. Well, I personally would have loved to see Primo higher. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I played SpongeBob SquarePants update again, and with the Krabby Patties, he's just insane. But yeah, probably in 3v3, you know, in Showdown you rely on teaming, and in 3v3 or ranked or in duels. In duels he has no value at all. And yeah, in 3v3 ranked, he's a good pick, I believe, but not like the biggest carry, but in the midfield. So I think doing nothing wrong with that. And we go to Shelly, number 42. Great in Showdown, which is why she got quite high here. Like, is exactly the middle brawler at this point. Great Showdown brawler, but in 3v3 not seen too often. Even if people pick like tanks, if you see a lot of tanky combos, then you don't really pick Shelly, but other brawlers like Chester, for example. You know, Chester, in my opinion, just the better alternative to Shelly right now. He has more flexible supers, more value with the supers, more potential. Yeah, which is why Shelly is 42. And even in Showdown, she's not the very, very best brawler right now. So she's always been Showdown meta, but right now I think it's the weakest Shelly meta ever. Still top 10, but not very high in top 10. Nico on 41. I think this brawler is crazy nice, and I would also have loved to see a bit higher, but people disagreed and said, no, he's more midfield. And now in the topper midfield, which is okay for me. You know, if you play Miko well, I think she has a lot of value and is a bit underrated. People hate a bit too much on her, in my opinion. You can play in Showdown, in duels. You don't have the opportunity to do that heal of combos anymore with Miko. That does not work anymore. So that's a huge downgrade for her, which is why she's not like top 10 anymore, whatever, or like top 20. But yeah, Carl, top 40. Great flame gadget, deals a ton of damage and finds his way back into the meta more and more. Not the best meta brawler, but we see him more and more often in ranked. Just like Gus, he got a damage buff, he got that shield knockback buff. Gus gets a lot of buffs recently and will definitely find his way back into the meta because they keep having an eye on him, they keep buffing him. I think even if Gus doesn't receive another buff, he's balanced right now and he will play a role in future metas. And Max 38 maybe sounds quite low to some of you guys, but I think it's fine because we have better mid laners. It's not really a Max meta. Still a good brawler, hypercharge is really carrying, and Max is always a great team synergy. No matter what combo you play, you can always play that Max mid lane most of the time, you know, especially with tanks. Still a decent pick, still a good pick, not a bad brawler. And 37 is Nani. You can see her in knockout, you can see her in bounty. kenji, especially in bounty. She's a great hyper counter, but yeah, that's basically it. A very strong brawler in the modes that she's meta in. In bounty, she can carry a whole game. It's like the best carry brawlers in bounty. Also knockout, playable. Even on some heist maps you see her, so she's definitely worth being in the topper midfield. Which brings us to number 37. We go with Bibi here, and we ranked her a bit lower than before because I think we have better brawlers like Buzz right now as a tank. We have Gale meter, we have Chester, so it does make sense that Bibi is not ranked that high anymore. Still playable, still good brawler. Hypercharge is still very good, but in the meta, Bibi just doesn't have that much potential anymore than in the metas before, where, for example, Gale didn't really play any role. Bonnie on 35 might be surprising to some of you guys, but with the gear, she just needs 3 hits for the super and can use a jump. And I think Bonnie is 100% underrated. I think she deserves more attention. You know, that gear was the best thing that could ever happen to her. And I think she's very, very, very strong and better than a lot of mid laners that some people talk about. I think Bonnie is crazy. So at least 35, you know, that's like at least the spot where we have to put her. Now we have Ems, also underrated in my opinion. Very good against tanks. The hypercharge is not bad. In the shadows of some other hypercharges like Mortis, for example, obviously, or Surge, you know, people care about that much more than about Ems. I can understand that, but this hypercharge gives her an additional gadget, additional damage, movement speed, which is so important for her. So the hypercharge really did her well, which allows her to climb up in this list to 34. 33 goes to Belle, mid lane brawler that you really can play everywhere, I believe. Also as a lane. It's not that convincing as a Piper, for example, but still a very good mid laner. We're getting better and better now in the list with the brawlers, which brings us to Jackie, number 32. The gadget, so much speed. The hypercharge, so much speed. Like if you don't know what to pick, like if your enemy is playing like, I don't know, Shelly, for example, or let it be Poco, double tank, whatever, or Jessie, you can just pick Bonnie. You won't do anything wrong, you know, if you don't know. Like, really do not pick her if your enemy plays like, I don't know, Frank, for example, or Clancy. Like, you don't really want to do that, or Gale. But if you don't have these brawlers in the enemy team, then she's a crazy nice pick with a huge load of movement. And yeah, most of the time, a very good no-skill answer to very much combos. 31 is Colette, and yes, she's like more only a heist brawler, but one of the best heist brawlers. And you can not only play her in heist, but also in showdown duels and 3-3. Bit underrated, I think, right now, but she's very good against tanks. The hypercharge is insane. With the star power, we are allowed to, you know, just 2-shot a brawler or 3-shot a brawler with normal auto attacks, then just super, and every brawler is down. She's pretty easy to play. Very good auto aim brawler. Insane in heist, so I think we are fine with 31 here. And Chuck is on number 30. Why is that? Well, he's the best heist brawler in the game, you know. Pick Chuck and you have a free win in the whole mode. And that's just broken. Not seen in Showdown, Brawl, or like Knockout, you know, all of these modes. Yeah, we do not see Chuck there, and that has a reason. Chuck is a really unique brawler, and basically you just want to play him in heist. He is the best heist brawler, and 30 is totally fine because he deserves you free wins quite often. And if you see heist, then you always have a Chuck ban, and that really at least deserves rank 30. 29 is Brawl, one of the best throwers in the game, especially good in bounty, knockout, for example, but also in showdown. You can play Sprout everywhere, let's be honest. Maybe not heist, but yeah, you can play him everywhere. Very good brawler. Even when the hypercharge is that bad. The hypercharge is like the worst in the game, I believe. Like really the worst in the game. But still, this little guy manages to get top 30 here. And that's crazy. With a terrible hypercharge, with basically no hypercharge at all. 29, not bad, not bad. And it's getting even crazier. Now we have Buster on 28 without a hypercharge. If that guy gets a hypercharge, that will be insane. That will boost him even more in the meta. But this Brawl is just a perfect team synergizer for every combo. You just can play Buster all the time, you know. Can farm a super, block projectiles, initiate and engage. We love to see that. We love to have a Buster in our team. He will always take care of us. He will always be able to engage to make something possible, and he's definitely worth place 28. And now we have Dynamite on rank 27. The second best thrower in this list, because in the right hands, you know, if you have a noob dynamite, then yeah, it would be probably better if you have like a Sprout in your team or a Barley, you know, like more the easier brawlers. But yeah, it's about the potential, and potential wise, Dynamite is crazy, insane, world class. Guy can triple kill so easily in the right hands, an absolute monster. 27 is more than fine for him. Which brings us to 26. Nita, very good answer to Sandy, for example, but since Sandy is not that meta anymore, Nita also is a bit worse now, but still great Brawl Ball brawler with that hypercharge bear. Probably also the best Brawl Ball brawler that you can pick. Nah, I wouldn't go that far, and you know, we still have brawlers like Surge, so wouldn't go that far. But yeah, also in Hot Zone or many other maps. But yeah, unfortunately, we only really see her in Brawl Ball, like not really in other modes. But yeah, also you can use her in Hot Zone. She's just a great tank counter. She's a great mid-range counter. Nita is a very nice brawler. And if you see like these, I don't know, tanky combos, whatever, mid-range Sandy combos, for example, then you will do nothing wrong with Nita. One of the best Brawl Ball brawlers and a great answer to a lot of combos, which is the reason why she's not midfield like Willow, but ranked better here. And I can understand if some people say that, you know, like Dynamite should be, for example, ranked higher than Anita or Buster, for example. I can totally understand that. Might be even true, but we were like, okay, hypercharge is just very insane. Buster doesn't have a hypercharge. Dynamite's hypercharge is crazy because of the damage, but the projectile split is, I think, not that crazy. We were like, okay, Nita, hyper bear, 10,000 HP, huge movement speed. Also in highs, oh my god, I forgot about highs. Yeah, highs is also crazy for her. But yeah, we do everything right with Nita 26 on this list. RT 25 hurts a bit because I love this brawler and I think he's so underrated. But yeah, 25 is quite high already. We're in the meta section already. And this guy in duels an absolute beast, in showdown an absolute beast, underrated as hell. You know, click your gadget. Even in 3v3 you can see more of no in rank. Yeah, it really hurts putting him 25, but we go for that now because he's not that crazy in the meta right now. We don't see him too often, while I think we should see him way more often because he's a great highest defender, highest damage dealer, showdown brawler, duels machine, assassin counter, tank counter. Great pick on Snake Prairie in the ranked season, for example. Just a beast. Jesse on 24, the turret, one of the best hypercharges in the game. Jesse was more like on the bottom of the meta, but right now in Gem Grab, in Hot Zone, even in Brawler, for example, you can play that 10,000 HP turret, which is in my opinion probably a bit better than Bruce because you can hold control better. You have more and better area control, which is great. You have the speed gadget, for example, for highest if you want to play her in highest, if some other brawlers are banned, for example, or the enemy combo just allows you to play Jessie. So great hypercharge, really carries this brawler. Without the hypercharge, she would really be more like on the bottom, so just the hypercharge changes a lot. And yeah, Poco, same for him. The hypercharge carries him really well in this list. The shield is just insane. Very nice hypercharge, but Poco himself actually not that good in the meta, so he's 23. 22 is Mac, very meta in showdown, especially if you team, and a great answer to sniping brawlers, for example, like Nani, Piper. So Nani cannot one-shot you, Piper cannot just one-shot you or finish you with the gadget really well, you know, with that longer range gadget. Always a good pick also in Hot Zone. Yeah, you can play her basically everywhere. Deals a ton of damage, is a good tank counter. And 21 is Cordelius. Hypercharge, one of the best in the game. We don't have to talk about it. One of the best showdown brawlers. Even in duels, quite playable. And in 3v3, you will win every 1v1 with the jump gadget and also with that super. Not that easy to get it, but yeah, Cordelius is just a maker. Cordelius just a meta brawler, just very well. Also very well performing also in showdown. And Buzz is on rank 20. Great in showdown, great in 3v3, not really in duels, but yeah, overall just a great brawler right now. Gadget really valuable. Hypercharge is good. It's a nice tank, but yeah, obviously we couldn't put him any higher because of Gale, for example, in this list. Cold on number 19, very nice brawler, played in heist, even played in Brawl Ball nowadays. Hypercharge is good. If you have good aim on Cold, yeah, he will never disappoint. I think you could even play him on modes like Knockout and Bounty. We don't see him too often here, but I think even that would work, depends on the Cold. He's the most famous brawler also right now. I did a only master ranked push with Cold, so if you like to watch that, you may check that out. And Byron really got a glow up. He's rank 18. That's very cool because he also got buffed again. He's healing more now. I think he's also doing a little bit more damage. In rank with the modifier, he's working pretty well. When you poison someone, you get that movement speed 3 times in a row. That's pretty cool. And you can also play the healing combos. So Byron works pretty well, synergizing in most of the combos, almost every combo. And you can also play him as a damage dealer. So Byron, big glow up, top 18. Top 17 is Jean, just because he's an all-rounder. He's just so good in so many modes. Knockout, bounty, gem grab as a gem carry. Even in Brawler, you could play him. You usually do not do bad, but yeah. In duo showdown, he's good. He's very good with all the modifiers on rank, but yeah, with the SpongeBob SquarePants update, he got the bubbles, so yeah, that's pretty trash, but still. If you play Jean, then you do not do it with the SpongeBob SquarePants modifiers, but in some other modes. Lily's top 16. She got nerfed a bit. Now, for example, she does not two-shot the Jessie anymore with the super. She deals quite a lot less damage now, but the gadget is still the best in the game. The hypercharge will be broken on Lily. I'm 100% sure about that, especially because of the movement speed. And yeah, damage got nerfed, so she fell off a bit. I think that's just fair, so top 16 for Lily. Kit is on top 15, actually coming a bit more back into meta. I think we could easily put her top 10, but Kit is strong. You can play a lot of combos with her. In the SpongeBob SquarePants modifier, she's crazy, but we do not see her that often in rank because Kit, you know, needs a good combo where you can play her. You know, you should communicate with your team. But yeah, Kit a great brawler. People do complain about her, but yeah, I think she is totally fine to put her on top 15. Some people probably would even put her in like top 10, but I go for top 15. Angelo on top 14, great hypercharge. He has a great maps with the water maps. Still a great sniper, didn't change much. He's not top tier meta anymore, but definitely high meta. Very good brawler still. And Chester, also huge glow up. I think I did a mistake when I said he's like underrated in my previous short, for example. But I don't know, maybe he's still underrated. I really put him top 13 because he's very good. I see him more and more often with every day in ranked and also in ladder. But yeah, it took quite a while, you know, like let's say 1 week before or like 2 weeks before, we barely saw Chester even when he was good at this point. So it took some days and days and days until this brawler really represented himself in a very good way. And yeah, might be not that underrated anymore, but is a very top tier great brawler. Piper, now we get more to the broken brawlers. Piper with the hypercharge is just insane. She's just the best sniper in the game. Actually not the best sniper in the game, you will see someone else, but she's a great pick in most of the maps. You will do nothing wrong with her. Great mid laner in gem grab, for example. You can play her so well on so many maps. In showdown she's quite good. In duels she's okay. So Piper, a very nice brawler at the moment. And here is the best sniper of this list, and that's Mandy. Here we go, closing the sniper section with Mandy. If she hits a super, she just needs 2 more hits to have another super. I think Mandy is great right now. You want to make sure to ban her on certain maps, because yeah, you definitely pick Mandy over Piper nowadays. And now we get to the best thrower in the game. So we also close this section, and that's Larry and Lori. Yeah, Larry and Lori are the best throwers in the game right now. Of course, Dynamite is OP and stuff, but Larry and Lori still picked in esports, still picked in rank, performing pretty well. So he goes to the top 10. Top 9, Clancy, the best controller in this list. At least I think so. Ah, no, actually he's not. I think, yeah, there's someone else coming. Okay, never mind. But Clancy on stage 3, probably still the best brawler. Only problem is you have to get to stage 3. That's not easy. Doesn't have every game, definitely not. If people play it intelligent and do not feed Clancy too much, yeah, he will really struggle to get that stage 3, to get the movement speed, to get the extra damage, to get the better main attack. That's just the only weak point. That's really hard to get to stage 3. But if he's stage 3, he's the best brawler in the game, and that deserves a top 9. Now we go with Frank. He's still top 8. He got a nerf, and he's definitely not one of the best brawlers anymore. He dropped quite some spots, but still top 10 for sure. He's still a great brawler, even when the gadget got nerfed, and even if his star power, I think also his star power got a bit nerfed. So he's definitely weaker, but not out of meta yet. The rework is still working quite well. Rico on top 7. He is also one of the broken brawlers with the hypercharge. So much additional range. You can play him on so many maps. If you have wally maps with a lot of walls, Rico is a must pick, seen so often, and you will do nothing wrong with her. Even on an open map, okay, I don't want to over exaggerate, But yeah, even on an open map, I would pick Rico. He's very good. Deals quite decent damage. And on an open map with the speed star power, I think he could do a lot. Also, like, dodging would go crazy. But yeah, let's do not drift into too much fantasy here. Also, in solo showdown, Kevin Churn, great brawler. Great gadget, can defend himself insanely good against assassins. And now we go with the best tank of this list, and that's Daryl. Yeah, Daryl got their rework with the double super. Insanely nice brawler now. Really fun to play. Top 6 here. It's kind of insane to say that Daryl was so bad, and always with just one more super, he goes straight into the top 10. I love it. Some people say he's not even that OP, but I totally disagree. He's great now. He wasn't even that bad before, but people just were not really interested in playing him. But yeah, now top 6, he deserves that. Top 5, and that should be the best controller in the game. Yeah, pretty sure. That's a Surge. He's just a great brawler with that hypercharge. Can outrage snipers and kill them easily, you know. Deal a ton of damage. If you hit your shots right, you can just do a 10k hit from max distance, which is just totally broken. I love that Surge is top 5 in this list at the moment. Also no glazing. This brawler is just one of the best right now. Definitely. He's broken, and he definitely deserves to be top 5 here. Top 4 then goes to Mortis. The hypercharge carried him so well. Wow, like, people played Mortis so much before already, and now he gets that insane hypercharge, that boomerang that gives him double heal, double damage, double range, double sustain, double chances to even win against brawlers like Shelly. That's just crazy. Makes him an absolute monster, and now playable in every single mode. The hypercharge will carry every single matchup. And if you just engage, and it's so easy to do a team wipe, if you hit that hypercharge super, everyone will just go down. That's incredible. And now we have the bronze medal. That is Gale. Yeah, he also was like one of the more worse hypercharges when the hypercharge got out. And now this guy is top 3 in the mid. It's so ridiculous. Like, people said, yeah, his hypercharge is more like trash. Doesn't even matter. But yeah, he's actually pushing people even more now. I don't know if it scales with the stun star power. That would be crazy if they just get the double stun duration like this. That would be really crazy. But I don't know that. Let me know that in the comments, by the way, if you're still watching. And yeah, you're also a legend if you're still watching. Yeah, super deals a ton of damage, has insane range. You cannot miss it. You really cannot miss it. Gadget is very good against the assassin meta, against tanks. Working really well. Star powers are both great. Insanely nice brawler at the moment. Very fun to play. And we move on to spot to place number 2. The silver medal goes to Kenji. And yeah, don't get me wrong. It could be that this brawler might be like top 20, top 30. Maybe he's the worst brawler in the game. But from what we've seen now, people really say that he's a crazy brawler and the super is just insane. I wasn't so sure about that. I would have ranked him lower, but yeah, this is more like an experiment. This is more like an eventually. And yeah, it could really be that this brawler is breaking the whole game and being the best brawler in the game. But for now, yeah, we have to wait for that. We have to see how good this brawler is. You know, apologize if he's not that strong, then we just gotta put him down on like top 20, top 30, whatever. But from what we've seen, he seems quite strong. He seems very cool. He seems like one of the most popular brawlers in the game. So we give him the top 2 for now. And yes, of course, the gold medal goes to Mui. Playable in every single mode. Just very OP. You know, do your free range attacks, which deal a ton of damage. Then you can engage with that drill. Go back to your normal form again and do another free ranged attack, like having an instant reload. This brawler is just broken. He's the deserved top 1. You will get a nerf for sure. And yeah, here we go with this list. It took me a lot of effort. My voice is really giving up right now. So if you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And yeah, I need some break. I need some water. Have a great day. Your SnakeThug. Peace.